What's up, members? Welcome to another video. Sorry that it has been so long before check-ins. We have just been so freaking flat out. So wild. So this might end up being a fairly long video for you guys, but we've got a fair bit to talk about. Obviously, there's been a fair bit going on. You all know this year's sucked, and just, I don't know. The past couple of months, I've just been in a bit of a funk. I've been not very happy, not enjoying my job, not enjoying what we like. It's just not been very fun the past couple of months. Essentially, yeah, mostly just because of the freaking pain. Trying to do this in this much physical pain has been a lot, but just the whole situation we were in. The most frustrating thing about it, I think, is the fact that we were gearing up for this expansion, and that was all going ahead. And I think I was pretty much reading everything perfectly. I think gearing towards that expansion was the right way to be going, and I think if that had worked out, we'd have been really well off right now. If we had ended up expanding, had the extra room, had a bit of extra staff and a bit of extra help, I think we would have been sweet. But obviously, everything coincided at the worst possible time, and you know, you guys all know the story, and the fallout of that is just that we've ended up, the two of us, with way too much work to do. And that's all it is. And it sort of just got on top of me. You know, like obviously Rex does most of the physical work, a lot of it. But as far as the back end stuff, the channel, emails, invoicing, bookwork, that's all me. And just everything, it just all got way on top of me. So it just always felt like we were never making a dent in the work that was here. And then I jump on and then there was 10 pages of emails, which just, you jump on and it's like, oh, well, there's a day's worth of work just replying to emails. And then there's probably half a day's worth of work just calling people back that have left messages. And then there's a day's worth of work just balancing the books for the past quarter. Like it just sort of just kept just getting on top of me and on top of me, and it just felt like I could never get on top of it and get out from underneath all the work. But anyway, it is finally feeling like we're getting to that point. Obviously from then, we haven't been taking on any more work really. So we're sort of, no long-term stuff anyway. You guys know, I'm not gonna repeat all that, but I finally feel like we're sort of starting to get on top of things. The past 2 days, I've sort of just been working on rearranging the whole shed pretty much. So one of the biggest things has been this HQ. It's one of those things. It's like the crown jewel of our business at the moment. We're super excited to finish it, and because it was what it is, we really didn't want to be working on it while we were stressed and pushed for time. It's one of those things where it's really the car to reflect our ability and our vision and what we can do, what we're capable of. So we really didn't want to be working on it while we were stressed and so busy. But the problem was, the longer I've left it, the more stressed it's made me. So it sort of just got to a point where it's like, we're gonna have to dive in and get it done. What makes it most stressful is that the owner of this car has been just an absolute G. He's been so good about it. Like, we couldn't have asked for a better customer for the car. And we really, like, for him, letting him down is like, well, for us, letting him down has been like a pretty big catalyst on actually making us quite stressed, because we don't want to let him down because he's been so good about it. So anyway, you probably would have noticed, or maybe not, I don't know, where I am in actually the releases of how far behind they were, but the shed was pretty much covered in crap. It was almost impossible to work in here, which was definitely not helping the situation at all. Like, this was pallets and freaking things and shit forever. And every time we wanted to work on the HQ, we'd have to rearrange everything, move everything out, move everything around, so that we could get the HQ up and down and stuff. And so the past couple of days, I've just been working on rearranging stuff, putting stuff away. So now we've just got the nose cone on the table, but apart from that, that's pretty much all that we have to move to be able to work on the HQ, which is going to make it a lot easier at the moment. So I'm still waiting on the CNC shifter gate to get back, and we need to paint the firewall. But after that, we can start really smashing this thing together. But like I've been talking to you guys about, I really want to work on getting the content a lot better. And I'm really hoping that I can get someone out here just to film for while we finish this car. Like I keep saying, I don't think it's going to take long to finish off once we finally get the firewall and these final little things out of the way. And I don't think, I would like to get a filmer out here to sort of film while we finish it instead of vlogging it, because I think it's going to make it that much better. And I really want to portray the car as well as we hope to build it in the content and try and propel the channel. So this past couple of months, while we've just been this flat out, I've sort of still just been vlogging like this, not personal like this, but just vlogging what we've been doing. And I've got mountains and mountains of footage to go through and edit and get out, but I know it's not going to be the footage that I want to put out. The content's not going to be as good as I want it to be. I'll still put it out, but once we get through a lot of this long-term projects and stuff, and we settle back into tuning and engines and things, and hopefully have a bit more time, I really, really do want to spend a bit more time and try and get a bit more help to try and get, the channel and the content really, really popping off and happening. So that is part of the plan. But anyway, we're sort of at a point at this stage where like I'm not even really taking on tunes anymore. I'm sort of just telling people next year now, because like I talked about, we sort of need the tunes to keep us rolling and keep the cash flow happening in that, and we can't just drop everything and do things like this. But literally the past probably 2 months almost, 6 weeks, like every car that's come here for a tune has ended up being days and days of work. And I've told you about this before, but it's even happened after that as well. And the problem is, we'll start the week, we'll have 1 or 2 tunes to do. Sweet. The rest of the time we can really dive into things like this and start making some dents and making some progress. And then all of a sudden your 2 tunes turn into 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden you're 2 weeks later, you're halfway through the month, and we still haven't touched something like this. And it's just doing our heads in. We can't stand it. So pretty much for the rest of the year, we'll get rid of what we got here, which should be end of next week. We should be right. And then after that, it's just going to be this thing, and we've got a patrol here as well, which has got to get done, and we're just going to dedicate the rest of the time to them pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be the rest of the year. It's probably going to be a bit of a struggle for us financially to do that, but it's the only way we're going to actually get through it. So not only this, but like we've got so many freaking engines on the go at the moment. I'll show you in here, like there's just engines on engines on engines to build. There's so much to get through. It's outrageous. So yeah, anyway, to make a long story short, it's just been over the top. Work's really gotten on top of me. And yeah, it sort of just, I feel like it grew a little bit too big for me to catch it on my own. And without having really any help with a lot of that back end stuff, it's sort of just, I don't know. It was just like a big heavy weight that was pretty hard to get out of, but sort of finally starting to feel like we're making progress now, which has been really good for me. And I'm starting to really enjoy it again and having fun. And I'm really looking forward to leaving this dumpster fire of a year behind and hopefully having a lot better year next year. But that does lead me into the next thing, which is the GU. So the big bad GU, I'm not going to go out there in the sun because it's freaking hot today, but I haven't released all the footage of that yet. There's still quite a bit to go. I still have a few things to do to it, and it's been freaking awesome, and I love it, but probably going to have to sell it. It's probably going to have to get sold. It's just one of those situations. It was a bit of a stretch when I got it, but it was exactly what I wanted, so we sort of made it happen. But obviously since then, that was in like June, right before all this shit kicked off really. So since then, obviously moving house, everything that's gone on, it's just one of those things where it's not really the right time. It's a bit too much of a stretch to own it. And the other thing is, obviously the situation a lot of you know was for me to sort it out, give it to the missus for a while. It would be her car for a little bit until we could get her the car she wants, and then I'd get it back. Which makes sense, except for the fact that at the moment, like fuel's $2 a litre, and that thing uses 20 litres per 100 Ks. So it doesn't make sense for me to sort of give that to her even for the interim, because she won't be able to afford to freaking go anywhere. So it's sort of, I love it. It's exactly what I wanted, but it's just not the right time, and it doesn't really make sense for me to try and keep it. You'll see we started doing some work on the tough stator, started making moves to get that cammed and stuff, and I think honestly, as far as content, and it just suits me at the moment to just keep that rather than sell it. It owes me nothing pretty much. The Patrol owes me obviously quite a bit. And for now, I've got nothing I need to tow at the moment. Even if I do, we've got V80 if we need to do something like that at the moment. You know, as far as just going from home to work and stuff, the Statesman suits me fine. And I don't particularly need the Patrol, and we can't really afford to go anywhere in it. So at this stage, I'm thinking about selling the Patrol. Probably oversharing, but if I can get what I think I can for the Patrol, I'll be able to pretty much pay off all of my current debt and start from zero of my personal debt. So that's pretty appealing. Our housing situation at the moment is a bit up in the air again. We're probably going to have to move again before Christmas, which is, you know, there's just too much shit going on, and I could really use the money from that Patrol to sell it. So I really didn't want to. I didn't want to be put in this position, but this is the position. My arm's cooked, I've got debts to pay, got bills. We can't afford to really run the fucking thing. So it makes more sense to sell it, start from zero, keep the stato. That suits me for now. Once we have got through this long-term stuff like we've been keep on talking about, we're back to tuning and stuff, and we've got a bit more time to sit and think and plan out what we're going to do. You know, try and look at getting the VS finished, the Barra, the lionfish finally. You know, that's a 2-year ongoing freaking thing that still hasn't been done. So we'll get that finished. Like you guys know, I want to try some giveaways and things like that. So I'll either sell it, or if the giveaways work out, we'll look at doing that, and then after that we'll look at, you know, getting another car then. But for now, it's just a bit too much. So anyway, guys, I don't think I have really a lot more to talk about. I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop, your members. I didn't want to leave you hanging for too much longer without a video. But yeah, at the moment, obviously, I don't really have any spare time to do any editing right now. The shop, the website, it needs a lot of attention. A lot of the pricing and stuff's way outdated. I think at this point, I think a lot of the things that we're selling are costing us money because I haven't had a chance to really keep the prices up to date and stuff. And Liam's been helping with the shop as far as like the actual marketing and stuff, which has been freaking awesome. So next year I want to put a lot more effort into the shop and try and move a lot more stock, try and make a fair bit more money that way. That'd be great. And like I talked about, tuning and engines only, start looking at giveaways and stuff, try and change our lifestyle a bit so we can actually enjoy it a bit more. Because I've got to tell you, I know that even we probably have at times glamorized this job a bit, being a tuner. I know a lot of people seem to see it as like this all great job, but I've got to be honest, as you know, as a business, it's pretty much the worst possible business you could possibly run, being a tuner. It's one of those things where if you didn't enjoy it, you would not do it. When you look at it just from a money perspective and a time perspective, profits, outlay, capital, knowledge versus return and risk, it is literally the worst business you could possibly run. So, you know, you think about how what we've studied and what we did to learn what we know, to be able to apply that to dynamic engine systems, to understand how to tune, not to mention then obviously buying the equipment, dyno, plex, computers, softwares, you know, probably a good 80 grand in just equipment going on here between softwares, hardware, dyno and everything else. So there's your outlay, your capital. Then you got, not only do you need to know dynamic engine systems to understand what they want, but you got to learn all the softwares and stuff like that. There's a lot of time in that. Then there's risk involved, obviously. Huge amount of risk. You're tuning big dollar engines and stuff like that. If you get it wrong, that's a lot of money that you're risking. And all of that for what, $800 to $1,000 for a tune, which might take you, you know, 2 days. So, and that's if everything goes right. Generally nothing does because they're cars. So when you look at it just from a numbers perspective, it's literally the worst business venture you could possibly think of, I reckon. I couldn't think of much worse as far as a business venture. So it's one of those things where it's only a good job if you enjoy it. So anyway, it's just, yeah, it's just one of those things. We've been working our ass off. We haven't really been getting anywhere, so we need to try and change what's going on, and that's the plan for moving forward. But I still have full faith that we can make it work with this new direction we want to take. Obviously, the problem is that we need time, or I need time to work at it, whereas at the moment, between just trying to get through all this work, all the back-end stuff that I've got no real help with, I just don't have the time. So that's the main thing, is just freeing up some time for next year and a bit of space, and yeah, working out how to move forward in a way that's going to work better for us. But anyway, you already know all that. These guys are all already across it because I've told you this before. But yeah, anyway, that's just a little members update for you guys. I'm going to try, hopefully, maybe after this week or next week, I should have gotten through a lot of the crap that I needed to get through for like after work times. And after that, I can hopefully start to cut into, or start to look at all this footage that I've got to edit and get videos out. So yeah, the other thing, guys, I did make a short video on it, but I didn't ever actually put it out for you guys. But that last video I released publicly, I talked about how I didn't want to do this publicly anymore. That's not to say that I'm not gonna vlog. It was more so just the fact that I sort of realized that I don't mind talking. Obviously I talk a lot, you guys all know that. And I don't mind talking for till the cows come home, as long as it's about whatever we're doing or about the content or the car or information on the tune or something like that, you know, something that's of value to people that are interested in cars. But I sort of just realized that yapping on about our position, about our business, like personal stuff like that, no one really cares. No one really wants to hear that. And honestly, I really like that fact. I like that because, yeah, basically I don't have any desire to be a famous person. I don't want to be an influencer. That's just, it's not me. I really don't enjoy that at all. I really just want it to be about the content, which is sort of something I feel like I struggle with, and I don't know why I struggled with it for a little while, but it sort of just clicked one day that I was like, I don't want to put my personal crap and the back end of the business and stuff all out there for public to see. Like I said, still happy to do it for members, for obvious reasons, but yeah, not so much publicly anymore. But like I said, I think a lot of that, or the issue I was struggling with, the problem I was having was that, as I've explained, for like the past 3 years, all we've done is work. Like, well, this is all we've freaking done for pretty much the past 3 years. I've not seen my friends. I've not spent any time with anyone else, really. It's pretty much, we just live in this bubble where we come here, we do the work, I post it online, and I don't know, it's almost like the camera became the only person I was talking to. So I sort of realized that I sort of need to get a bit more balance happening for next year. Need to free up a bit more time, spend a bit more time with friends, spend a bit more time going to events and socializing and getting out and enjoying myself a bit more. And I think everything else will sort of just fall into place around that. So anyway, guys, that's my dear diary entry for members for today. But I'd love to be able to say that there's going to be content again coming next week, but realistically, I think it's probably going to be another couple of weeks still until I have the time to actually sit down and go through all the content and start getting proper videos out again. But anyway, that's your update. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking around. I promise you that things are going to go a lot better next year with this new plan. Either they're going to get better and it's going to work out, or it's probably just going to not happen. It's all going to crash and burn and I'm just going to go back to work or do something else because it's just not working out otherwise. So it is what it is. It's business, growing pains, teething problems, figuring it out. We're getting there though. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out. See you, boy.